can't move! Come on, almost!
TCUP, and we're finally here with a Titan that I haven't talked about for multiple reasons. But let's not beat around the bush and let's talk Tone.
Tone is an Atlas class Titan with 10,000 hit points. As an Atlas Titan, Tone has 1 dash as a default, but this can be increased to 2 if the kit turbo engine is equipped. Tone's primary weapon is the 40mm tracker cannon, which has the ammo capacity of 12. When fired, the 40mm cannon will release an explosive projectile that deals blast damage in a small area, and upon hit will generate a tracking lock that is applied to hostiles such as Titans and Reapers. A direct hit will eliminate a pilot immediately and deal small damage to Titans. If the kit burst loader is equipped, the user will shoot up to 3 projectiles in a short burst when aiming down sights.
Want some pizza?
Oh, no thanks.
A Tone main.
The reason why Tone is so universally hated has many explanations, everything from a tracking rockets to a rocket salvo. Though the reason why I think she's so hated personally is because of her primary.
It is disgustingly accurate, deals high damage and insta-kill pilots on hit. Does that remind you of something? It is literally a laser shot with higher firing speed and splash damage.
Well, what about the plasma railgun? Is that like the same thing? No, it's not! The plasma railgun is inaccurate as hell. Getting a goose kill with a 40mm is just way too easy compared to all the other one-shot kill weapons.
This sink is filthy, but just 3 shots from kitchen gun. And it sparkles like new. Look how it cleans this greasy hob. Goodbye, dirt!
Scorch's thermite launcher has an arc trajectory, which makes it way harder to calculate where the ball of fire will be. Northstar's plasma railgun has to be charged up to be accurate and has no splash damage. And finally, Ion's laser shot has no splash damage and gets put on cooldown when fired.
Nothing of this applies to Tone.
Okay, so last time me and Google fought a bit, but we've made up, right? Hey Google, we're on good terms now, right?
Like hell we are. Do you little
Never mind then.
The thing is that all Titans have abilities that allow you to trick or play off other players and punish them for doing something recklessly. This is not the case with Tone. Sure, you might get a lot of kills and your Tone montage might look cool when you snipe pilot after pilot, but that's about it. When playing Tone, you are no longer playing Titanfall. You are playing a point-and-click adventure. You know, I was going to talk about the kits for Tone, but who the fuck cares? They all boil down to the same fucking thing, which is get more locks in different ways. And if you're looking for a guide on how to play Tone, then I'll tell you this. Just fucking shoot, you fucking donkey.
You know, you should have a name other than Google.
What? No, that's hella cringe.
Karen?
No.
Nessie?
Still a no. What about you shut the
The 40mm is so fucking weird. Basically it does no damage to Titans and it's like only there to get pings. But when it comes to pilots, you know that if they miss you, they will either hit the next shot or they will be hunting you down until they succeed. Which is so fucking predictable. You know, I have a policy to always use Dome Shield. The reason? Fucking tones. When you call down a Titan and a tone is close, they will just straight up shoot you and you will spawn on the other side of the map. Good luck having your Titan surviving that. Be there or be square. Guess where Tone Prime were.
run mother.
You know, after all, Tone isn't that bad. She's just...
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
Tone's ordnance is called tracking rockets. This ability can only be used if 3 tracking locks have been applied to a target. When this requirement is met, Tone can fire a small burst of 6 rockets that will automatically follow the target. During the rocket barrage, Tone cannot shoot with a 40mm cannon and has to wait until the barrage is over. If more than one target has 3 tracking locks, the total rocket count will multiply depending on how many targets there are. The kit rocket barrage will add 2 additional rockets per target. A thing you can do when using Tone is that you can use the Pulse Echo kit after you've already hit the Titan once. This will mean that no matter what you do, you will always get 3 lock-ons. Also, because the lock-ons aren't shown for the enemy, you can always shoot the rockets when they least expect it. And you can keep on shooting with the 40mm. And to f them up a little more, keep shooting even if you have all the 3 lock-ons. Why? Because this will f***ing confuse them and try to figure out when you can shoot and not, and what kit you're using. You know, a common tactic in speedrunning is to get all 3 lock-ons on 2 different titans and try to align them so they're standing in a straight line. When they do, you can just press the ordnance button and all rockets will fly into the same titan, dealing outrageous f***ing damage. Also, while we're on the subject of shooting tracking rockets at multiple targets, where the f*** does she store them? I mean, it's like a damn clown car. I doubt that she has at least 25 rockets just waiting to be shot. I mean, have you seen her shoulder cannon? What the f*** is going on?
How do I get good at tone?
Okay, step 1. Grab some face paint. This will help you get into character. Step 2. Grab some oversized shoes.
Wait, how is this going to happen?
My god, shut the f***, I'm not finished. Draw your nose red, because then you'll look like what you really are.
Oh my god.
Okay, the problem with tracking rockets is that they're Tone's primary damage output, yet still is not reliable. To avoid it, you just have to put your defensive ability in front of you, or just block it or throw it back. And for those titans who can't do that, they can just dash to the side and the rocket's trajectory will overshoot and spin around and hit something else. So what is wrong with having a way to avoid damage? Isn't that good for balance? Yeah.
When it's not your f***ing primary damage output.
Why the f*** do they just give up on life when they don't reach their target on the first try? Like, f***ing try a little!
Alright boys, we're entering the enemy orbit and we missed. Mission failed, last place we tried.
But the more interesting thing is that it's like a worse Monarch salvo. I mean, Monarch can deploy them whenever she wants and get an upgrade that allows them to track the target, while Tone still has to get lock-ons. How can Tone still have the reputation of being an annoying prick?
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
The best way to play Tone is to be aware of stereotypes and play with people's expectations. If you meet an Ion, you know that they will take out the Vortex shield, so run behind a building and wait for them so you can then bombard them with rockets. Tone's tactical is called Sonar Lock. When deployed, Tone will shoot out a projectile that grants the user's tracking locks if a hostile is within range of the effect. It will also grant see-through visions of hostiles in the area, such as pilots and titans, on the user's minimap. If the kit Pulse Echo is equipped, one additional lock can be granted if a hostile stays within the area of the projectile.
Get this shit off me! Ah!
You only use this for 2 reasons, and those are to either get the lock because your aim is shit and you missed, or you're looking for that motherfucker who keeps shooting you with archer and charge rifles. You wanna know why I know that? Because that's all you can do with it. I'm genuinely looking for those snarkly snowflakes in the comments to tell me,
"Oh, this guy knows nothing.
Oh, don't mind me.
I'm just looking for who the asked.
Yeah, it's a big ass pulse bait, but you can't insta-kill people when you shoot at them. Her fucking Ray. Sonar Lock is like that one Pokemon that you played with all the time, so you forgot to level up your team, so when you're at the next gym, you just throw it out as soon as everybody fails or die. You know, the thing about Tone is that she's not very diverse. She has one thing and one thing only, and that is to track enemies and then bombard them with rockets. And it really shows when it comes to Sonar Lock. The whole playstyle of Tone is just shoot until you can shoot your rocket and then repeat. Sonar Lock is the only thing that can help you get more locks if you miss with the 40mm. There's nothing wrong with having a gimmick. I mean, look at Ion. But when the gimmick is ooga booga, shooty shooty bang bang, it's pretty fucking obnoxious.
You may be an open book, SpongeBob, but I'm a bit more complicated than that. The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
Another thing that drives me fucking mental is when you have other titans around you and you're trying to attack. Because all your abilities need to get to the other titan. It's a fucking pain when a friendly gets in your way. Like, if someone stands in your way and you're shooting with a 40mm, you won't get your locks. And the same goes for Sonar Lock, and don't get me f***ing started with the tracking rockets. I can't count how many times I've shouted, "F*** off!"
How old are you? 5?
Excuse me?
Tone's defensive ability is called Particle Shield. When deployed, a one-way wall will appear and cover incoming damage from one side of the shield. When it has been deployed, it cannot be moved. The wall can be destroyed if enough damage has been inflicted upon it or its deployment time has expired. The wall can be utilized by other Titans and pilots, even hostiles. The use of particle shield can be increased with the reinforced particle wall kits.
ほう、向かってくるのか。逃げずにこのディオに近づいてくるのか。
近づかなきゃてめえをぶちのめせないんでな。
Remember that when you put down your particle wall, you're not just telling the enemy that there's no use in shooting at you and that they have to find another angle. You're actively telling them,
NANI?
That shit is fucking trash!
you know, some people, they wish for world peace, others wish for happiness. But you know what I wish for? You know Murphy's Law, the phenomenon where everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Can we come up with a name for when Toad puts down her particle shield and a rodent comes up behind them? Because it always f***ing happens! What do I mean? Well, even if you have the reinforced particle wall kit, it will not stop the enemy from rushing you straight on. Now the damage output of Toad's rocket shouldn't be a match, except when there's a Scorch, or Ion, or Ronin. And even if they get to you and you shoot them, you will just deal damage to yourself while they're mowing you like you're an untrimmed lawn.
How is the weather?
Like it matters to you, Kate Goblin.
I knew I should have bought an Alexa.
If you've spent at least 5 seconds on Titanfall subreddit, you know that Tone is the f***ing laughingstock of the community, even though Monarch is slowly claiming that place. And in-game she's basically everybody's punching bag. Take away your particle shield and she has no ability to defend herself except for her dashes. And before you say the Monarch has the same problem, no. She can use her dashes, rearm and dash again. Not to mention that she deals much more reliable damage than Tone. Something I see a lot when new players play with Tone or people who haven't played with her for quite some time do, is that they often forget that her particle shield can't just be abused by Tone, but by basically everybody else. If you just approach Tone on a particle shield, you can sometimes trick her in ending up on the other side of the shield. Remember that when you fight another Tone, always be the first one to get the lock-ons, because if you're not, they can just shoot out the rockets and destroy your shield immediately. But at the same time, if you run away, they will have to follow you and leave their shield, so yeah, you make what you want of that. Tone's core is called Salvo Core. Upon use, Tone will fire a large barrage of rockets that is manually controlled and will fly towards where the user is looking. These rockets will deal large damage to Titans and drain their defensive abilities such as Vortex Shield and Flame Shield. If the rockets are not hitting a target within 12 seconds, they will disappear. To be honest, Tone's core is the most difficult to use, because when you use it, it feels like it deals less damage than if you were to shoot them straight up and then curve them down into a Titan instead of just shooting them straight on. But the thing is that when you use it, it feels like you're obligated to hit all the rockets on someone. But it makes you think that you have to get a kill or deal a lot of damage with it. But of course, that doesn't happen. The rockets will fly further and further away until it disappears, which means that you have wasted your entire core trying to deal damage. Don't you feel stupid now?
How do I not get bullied when I play Tone?
Uninstall.
What was that?
Did I stutter?
Though I will not lie, it's kind of fun when you've already used your core and you have your rockets flying in and Oblivious Monarch comes for you when you're doomed.
Hey, old man. Give me everything.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
But be aware, when Tone stares blindly into thin air, like she's on hard drugs, her rockets might be on their way to pay a visit. So what do I really think of Tone? Well, to be honest, as you might have noticed, I really don't like Tone. Not because she's overpowered or anything, it's just that she's so stale and boring to play. It feels like all the other Titans have some uniqueness or you have to play in a specific playstyle, but Tone is just so basic that it's boring to play for an extended amount of time. Both in playing and playing against Tone is very basic. To play Tone, all you have to do is just shoot to get your tracks and then just shoot out your rockets. And to defeat Tone, all you have to do is just rush her down. And that's basically it. And there's nothing wrong with having a gimmick, but when your gimmick is shooty bang bang until the enemy dies, it becomes very stale very fast. So what would I do to fix her? What I would suggest is allow her to aim down sights and create a laser that makes her track her targets. When the laser is placed on a target, she can use her tracking rockets, but the chance of them hitting is low. But the longer she tracks the target, the higher the chance will be of them hitting. The Sonar Lock would do basically the same thing, but allow multiple targets to be affected at the same time. And I'd change the core to something I'd call Mortar Core. What the Mortar Core would do is to stop tone for a short time and shoot out multiple rockets into the air, and then track hostiles that have already been tracked by her other abilities. Depending on the percentage of the target's hit chance is, they will have different chances of avoiding it. This will allow Tone players to use the core more smartly and also allow her to actually hit with her core instead of just using it most of the time and missing out on a lot of damage. It will also make them prioritize their abilities and their core depending on the situation instead of just going I shoot until I get 3 locks. But what do you think? How would you change Tone? Tell me in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching and take care.